College Football Show, Episode 5, Week 3 preview. We had a great week last week. I'm PMAC out here in Chicago, Illinois. That's Weeze across the screen and across Lake Michigan and beyond, Medford Lakes, New Jersey.
To
Episode 5,
infinity.
Week 3 preview. Yep, to infinity and beyond. Beyond. Blue
Blue.
had the preview show today. He's part of the preview show, but he's out of here in a second. He will do some guest picks. He picks his tree. He picks his team that'll come later on the season. But thanks for your time, Blue. You're on there.
Good job. Get him out of here. No, kidding.
Get out of there.
Blue's the man. If it was black, I
All
would
right.
have told
So
me.
for those that didn't come for the dog, get a cold pill. Just say, "Oh, I love the dog." Who's going to come to the dog for the dog? This week, last week we didn't expect too much. It was amazing. This week, probably looks like a better slate a little bit overall, and we'll see how it goes. So starting with tomorrow night, obviously we'll touch on that. Arizona, Kansas State. So first down, we're to go through seasons, coaches, and programs on the line, jobs on the line, programs on the line, seasons on the line. Second down, we'll touch on top 5 games of the week and our picks for them. Third down, we will touch on the other games, which we have a bunch of other very good, interesting games this week on College Football Saturday. And then fourth down, we'll do our wrap-up. We'll pick our most exciting game outside of our own teams, and we'll update the Pac-2. There was some news today about the Pac-2, formerly known as the Pac-12. I think it's still called the Pac-12. All the conferences are a little weird with their numbers. I don't think any of them match the amount of teams. But the Pac-2 had an update today. We'll go over that a little bit at the end. So starting off, what's going on over there?
Not much. Again, good recap from last week. A little surprising. I mean, it's still Saturday, so it's always great. But man, it was rolling by 6:50 at night. It was awesome. Nightcap was great. Not everybody stayed up for. I did. Awesome. Good week again. Good week. Not going to blow you away. Next week looks very good. The following's awesome. So we're getting there. We're getting there. But listen, you got to enjoy every week. You got to enjoy every week because once you get to that mid-late October and you're like, man, every week is just phenomenal. All conference matchups, sick ranked teams. It'll be gone about 4 weeks after that. So enjoy while you got it.
Like next week, so it really starts. You get the big-time early conference matchups and all that. But this week, hopefully, they're great. A lot of good noon games. Well, it's 11 a.m. out here in Central. I always call it a noon.
Yeah, we don't go up a Central time, so just say noon. We'll go Eastern. That's how the world works off Eastern Standard Time.
If I'm playing a video game or I text my family, any of you guys, anybody, I just say your time because I don't get knowledge.
You're all messed up out there, obviously.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll be part of the LG or maybe one day they'll add a thing for Central Time on this thing. Who knows?
Sure.
We deserve as long as I'm here. Anyway, all right. So first down, let's get into. Let me click this button while we're getting in here. See if it works. Does the transition button work? But then our things at the bottom are great. Our little segments, they don't work. We'll figure it out eventually.
It's the beginning of doing a show. We're working through it.
We don't know, but hopefully
budget's small as well. Budget's very small
for a while. So jump in early, maybe invest in us.
We just love doing it, so it doesn't matter.
Absolutely. First down, seasons, coaches, and programs on the line. It doesn't mean necessarily a fire. Necessarily, their program's literally gonna, they're gonna, cancel the football program at the school. Seasons for sure could be on the line. Whatever you're thinking about there. Let's start real quick with Florida State. It's amazing. Undefeated season last year. They had no shot in the college football playoff. I still thought it should be a more deserving than the better matchup. I think we both agree, but it would have been so horrible. And they probably made the right decision, even though if I was a Florida State fan, I'd be like, got completely screwed.
Doesn't matter.
And now they got crushed in the bowl game, and they just lost 2 straight. So after that magical undefeated season, besides the bowl game, they lost 3 straight.
Yep.
Unbelievable. What does it mean for that? Like it's for Mike.
So
unbelievable.
Yeah. So good intro. I mean, I'll take it from here if you don't mind, because this is where I was going in, especially them playing Memphis. So just my total take. This is obviously not program and coach on the line, no doubt. No, nobody's doubting that. He's done a great job. Florida State's been out for a while since Jimbo. So awesome job, especially as a rival team of mine. He's done great. However, season is on the line. Memphis was one of the preseason group of 5. Did he still call them that to make the playoff? Kind of with Boise and a couple Liberty, a couple other teams. And this dude, they're only 6.5-point favorite. So it's college football. That's right in the hands. I mean, that's his old team. That has a lot to do with it, probably for him. They got to right the ship. You just can't imagine that team being 0-3. It's just unimaginable from what they came off last year. Whether it was right, wrong, indifferent, it's crazy. I'm sure they can look at that in the face and say, we just need to beat Memphis to like get back on track and get into conference play. So they need to get out of this. Again, coach, great job. Program, you would think back. Recruiting's good. Guys are good. Again, not the roster last year, not to harp on that, but whole new year and clearly a different set of problems.
Yeah. Yep. No, absolutely. It's great. I think actually we both picked Memphis to make the playoff this year. I believe. Correct? You picked Memphis as the Memphis as well. This game is not a must-win for their playoff chances, hopes, but this would be unbelievable. And the spread is 6.5. So Florida State's just. How do you get up for the game? I don't even know how you get up for the game.
Well,
you have to.
I think they're getting up for the game. I don't know. It's going to be a tough test to win the game. So yeah, they'll be up.
We get up for bocce ball. I think they'll find a way to get up for the game. So
it's college football. They're playing a good team. So and again, you played sports our whole lives. Everybody else, like it's a lot. Who knows? They're in their own head. This is where coaching comes in, guys. It's a night. Let's call it what it is. A nightmare from hell. Coming off of the off season we had, thinking we're a top 10 team. This is who we are. We got jobbed. Life happens, right? Move on. Well, for whatever the reason, whether it's the quarterback, some of the motivation through the coaching, new players, all that stuff included, it has not gone well. So they need to right the ship here, or you're looking at 0-3. And I don't care. Of all the blue bloods in the last 15, 20 years, we saw Michigan go down. We saw USC go down. Florida kind of went down. Miami took their huge dip for a while. Florida State went down. Texas was down and out for a while. For years, some of these teams. But I feel I don't remember any of them ever. And I know their schedules are the easiest, but they didn't go 0-3. They did not go 0-3. This isn't a pro football team.
The bowl game blowout last year. This would be 4 straight. They went undefeated last year. They were.
Yeah, I don't remember a top-notch team at some point or a preseason top 10 going 0-3. I'd love to see a stat on it. I don't like ESPN very much, but I'd love to get a line from them if we could. Maybe we'll email them.
Yeah.
Top 10 team going 0-3. Look that up.
I will. Going forward in the season, I'm a stats guy. I'm a history guy. I'll have.
Hey, listen, we love the game. We do a lot of research and all. We can only do so much, but yeah.
We're doing what we talk about. Well, what we love right now.
If you're them, you can't go 0-3. You can't go 0-3 before mid-September. You cannot. That'd be insane.
Yeah. Next
okay, so
I'll let you start on this one here, and I'm gonna go over there see what's going with these dogs. They're fighting over there for 20 seconds. But another one I included, and we talked about Florida, Texas A&M. Season on the line, maybe coaching on the line, more so for Florida, obviously.
Yeah, Elko's fine. Nobody wants to start 1 and 2, but
on the line, who's going to do it? A&M's favored by I believe 3.5.
3.5, 4.5, depending on who you see. But let's call it 4.
All right, so go ahead, start on that. We'll be back in 2 seconds. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the obvious Napier. Napier's got to be the biggest hot seat, I think, based on program record. He should be. That's politics aside. He should be. They're gonna, besides this game, they're gonna play Mississippi State, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Right, those 4. And I can't imagine that team goes 1 and 3. Okay, and they're sitting there at 1 and 1 now. They'd be 2 and 4. Where could you right the ship? I guess, but that's a god awful start. So if that team's 2 and 4, you have a lot of problems. I think that's why I think again this night is huge for them. It's not as big for A&M. However, A&M has feels like one of the biggest budgets out there and some of the most money in college football, if not the most. And for them to get their guy for what they thought was their guy to go 1-2 would be tough. But they're on the road, and we'll see how the Swamp's rolling, and we'll see if Florida decides to play some disciplined ball with an edge on D and actually knows how to call a third down and play when they have to get the ball and not just punt it away. I know they have an All-American punter, but you don't want to punt that much in college football.
Absolutely, and we'll move on in a minute. I'll ask you one more question. And yeah, Texas A&M, yeah, like you said with the boosters and everything. I mean, they gave Jimbo Fisher. They're like, oh, we're good. We'll just give you $1 billion. So that's a little crazy. So they.
Oh yeah. That's more season on the line. But Florida is program everything because they could not get rid of another coach and that turnover. That's going to hurt. You figure it has to hurt them in recruiting. It's bad, especially with Lagley coming in, how good he was. They have a good recruiting class, and they fought from this freshman base up. Even if it's not an amazing year, it's got to be a better than 500 year with growth and showing that they've changed as a culture and a program.
Yeah. Yep. And then, what is that called? All the money they have, the boosters, that ranch money, cowboy money, or Texas money, ranch money?
Yeah. I mean, Texas is a lot, but they have a lot more.
Oil money.
Oil.
The certain squad calls it the oil money or the big oil or something. Yeah.
Yep.
Big oil money.
For politics, for political reasons, you go to the Middle East.
We'll do ranch money.
You go to the Middle East for that, but for college football, you go to Texas.
Yeah. So we'll call it ranch money. Why not?
There you go.
Love it. Good for them. I do. All right, next one. I took a couple out of here. We'll move along a little bit. Notre Dame, Marcus Freeman. They play. They're minus 10.5 at Purdue. Purdue has had a decent 2 of the past 4 seasons. Their offense started clicking a little bit. They're still not great. The spread's 10.5. Notre Dame should be able to cover, but if this one happened to Notre Dame, they'd be
again.
They'd be done. I mean,
it's not program or coach, but season. You're already talking about disappointment galore. We're talking about their preseason hopes. Maybe this is an 11-1 team. Honestly, pretty good chance of going 12-0. It's easier said than done, but how the schedule laid out, that's what you thought was a good chance.
And by program, I mean, like, I'm not saying the program's like, a 5-year, 10-year driller, just all the analysts just like, they're done.
Well, that'd be a huge, that'd be a huge backward step, and then they'll be on that radar for weeks to come, not just this week.
Yeah. Again, we'll touch on a couple of these games in the third down here, but Kansas plays UNLV. They're 6.5-point favorites, and UNLV beat Houston. It's not that many points, 6.5 on the road there. Kansas was looking like a team. A lot of people that picked them to win the Big 12 or be in the championship.
Again, good call. Yeah, good call. This is just season again, as you know. That's obvious. Season on the line because this was a preseason Big 12. I think in most reviews, and I don't get into most of it, but like they were sitting there at 2. It seemed like a lot of them, maybe 3. I don't think many people have them at 5. I don't think many have them at 1. They're there, and you can't. You lose 2 in the first 3 weeks. That'd be monstrous for them. So I like them this week, though. I know UNLV's solid, but I do like them this week.
Yeah. No, you would hope they'd rebound. You would think they might win by.
You find out how teams are coming off a loss, not a win.
So yeah, absolutely. Let me look up this real quick. And then just my quick 5 seconds here. I was going to acknowledge Mississippi State because I love Brandon Walker from Marshall, but he doesn't even acknowledge a team. He did a show, didn't even mention him. He said that game out there on the West Coast, don't you worry about. So I love the guy as an Oklahoma fan. Some of us do love you. I know you hate. You think we're all trash bags, but I'm not going to acknowledge it because you won't acknowledge it. We can talk about it one day. So Mississippi State.
Really? Oklahoma's worse than Mississippi?
No, well, he's from Mississippi. People attacked him, and then in an unfair way. A couple bad Oklahoma guys sent him some stuff, and I'm in support of Brandon Walker, but I'm not going to mention your team if you can't talk about it. So
you gotta feel bad for the
You can clip that, and we can have a conversation. I'm in Chicago, Brandon. I hear you're up north in Wisconsin. Love your stuff. Maybe we'll talk one day. Would love to. Great guy. And then Michigan, disaster last week. This week they got their 23.5 point favorites against Arkansas State at home. Arkansas State, you never know which one of those sneaky teams is going to be 9-3. It can play decent against a big dog like from if you're a betting
Yeah.
person, it might
Um,
be Arkansas State. Can Michigan score on anybody? Can they
I'm
even?
I'm the first to admit that um, what I thought was a carryover from last year, just in terms of culture, identity, and everything else, um, seems like it's not there, and we'll see in the rest of the year, obviously. But I feel like it's a team that's going to struggle to score and struggle to have a quarterback that can make third down throws, which is the most key thing, especially when you're in close games. And and the defensive personnel and what I see a little up front, it's not there. And it's well early, and guys have moved in and they have different names and different roles. But um, this seems like a team that's going to be fighting more week in, week out than I certainly thought. So I'll take the loss on that, and I'd be pleasantly surprised if not. So, again, not program, but season. And listen,
They just signed their coach. Now, so
no, he's signed. I know that, but you
he
signed
can't be
fine, but
coaching either. Yeah,
he's not, but he's in it
they got
now.
plenty of money. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, well, yeah, but he's in it now. So
right.
he's
And
got
so
a
it's
couple
up to
years
him.
leeway, I would think.
It's
But
on him this week whether he makes the QB switch or it's on Sharon this week, Michigan's coach,
mhm.
to say, listen, don't no one can mention USC next week. That could get us right back into being a
Yeah,
contender.
as
You
we all
can't
know, and
mention.
how
I would say if I was Sharon, I would be like, you can't say the name USC. No one mentions that at all week.
yep,
Arkansas State, let's take care of that first. Let's see how he does. So we'll see.
no doubt, no doubt.
Yep. All right. So we'll move on to second down here. Um, top five. Where's the squad here? Let's start it off with tomorrow night, Arizona, who had a great first week against New Mexico, struggled last week, pulled off the victory
Game of the week,
at number 14, Kansas State. Obviously survived a game as well against Tulane.
game of the week,
7.5. 7.5.
game of the week for me.
It's a lot. It seems like a lot. It seems
Take Florida out of it. Game of the week. Give me Arizona all day. I'll jump right to it. We can get into all that. 7.5. That's great. Give me Zona. I'm not going to expound too much. I respect the heck out of Kansas State. They're tough. I don't think they're going to score a ton of points and be able to, lay it on them like that. But Arizona State's going to get a groove back. Or sorry, Arizona. I shouldn't have said that. Arizona State. They're playing tonight. We'll check on that with Texas State soon. But I love this Arizona team. I love who
why
they
you want
brought
all
back.
halftime.
They
Yeah,
kept
you
they
love
kept they
Arizona.
kept their
Give it
guys, and so could be a little bit of a homer deal. But I'm not assuming. Listen, if I had a couple shekels, I'd go outright. But give me 7.5 all day for Arizona.
I like that as well. I think Kansas State's going to have a big bounce back
Kansas
game.
State is
Their
Kansas State's
defense
tough as
they
heck,
even
but
looked at great the first 2 weeks usually, and their offense.
yeah,
Yeah, the points is what gets me for this one. I'm taking Arizona. Um, I don't know what's going to happen this one. I go either
yeah.
way. This
Especially
could be a
between when you go like, all right, we're the home favorite over a touchdown. Again, they've increased. They've gotten a little quicker, right? They're able to score points, but they're not to that level. They're still like to play some sort of ball control, whereas Arizona likes to score. Like that's it. And you can say like, well, everybody likes to score, Steve. Yeah, but they want to move throughout the game and use their toughness, and they're going to have less stars. So that's what they do, and their coach is awesome. But Arizona wants to score, so I just think in a spread game, give me Arizona all day at 7.5.
like 12 possessions. Arizona. You think they're just going to score 3.5 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns?
Well, ask Northern Arizona. So I don't know.
Well, exactly. That's why they left out. But then the first
Yeah,
week, 10 out of 12
yeah. You
scoring
talk
drives
about
for
it. You
Arizona.
talk about a chewing. You talk about a
Crazy.
chewing.
So who knows? Yeah.
I mean, Arizona probably played kids that were lesser stars than them at Northern Arizona and said, you guys almost got beat last week."
Yeah, the
So,
Pac
all
2.
right, so we agree on that one. I think pretty
Yep.
firmly. Um,
Yeah, the Pac
a
2,
lot of
Oregon,
points.
Arizona, so a couple close games. The
Yep,
old Pac 2.
yep.
Alabama. I would put this one ahead. We'll talk about Georgia and Kentucky real quick later. Big spread, 24.5. Alabama, number 4. at Wisconsin, 16.5. I guess I can.
I'm a sucker.
This is where.
It's your pick.
Good. Good.
No, I didn't want to jump the gun, but
I don't have much to say about this one.
if I had money on the line every time a game like this, because we know Wisconsin's not Wisconsin
Well,
of old.
I'll
Yeah,
start
go.
since you said that because I want to. Every time in a game like this, if I was going to give a pick, I always tend to, all right, home, Wisconsin, 2-0, they survived. Obviously, Big Ten, you got the crowd up there. Alabama's lost their, lost Saban, lost everybody. Obviously, not Millero, but I would always go Wisconsin, and it never works out that way. It's always 38 to 13 every single time.
Yeah,
Or
at best.
41 to 20. Yeah, no, it might be 14-10 at halftime. Bama then ends up
Blowout.
45 to 17 every single time.
Happens all the
So
time.
I'll take that. I'll take.
Yeah, totally.
Still don't want to take that, but
We didn't even go over that, so you took the words out of my
I'm
mouth. I'm
still
glad you
not
took the lead.
taking. Oh, that's what I wanted to start. I'm
Oh,
still. I'm
oh.
still not. I'm doing it again. I'm this time we're winning. I'm not taking Bama. They looked beatable last week. I'm taking Wisconsin 16.5 points at home. Let's go Badgers.
I can't wait to hear how wrong we were
Oh,
on the recap.
on every game.
But I'm going to go Wisconsin as well, even though I shouldn't, because if I bet all those games, my house over time and my mortgage on against Bama with all those big spreads, I'd be homeless.
We'd
So
be in trouble if you did.
yeah, exactly.
All right, so we'll put a put a sock in our mouth or whatever, and we'll
Yeah,
lose that one.
socks
Whatever the
in.
expression is. Yeah. All right, LSU number 16, given a touchdown 7 at South Carolina. Game day is going to be there. You want to start with this one? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, another team I'm just still bullish on. I think USC in at least one game is better than we thought. LSU still really good. They've done this the last 3 years. They've lost some games at the beginning of the year. South Carolina had an awesome performance last week. I just think they have too many studs. So, and it's going to be close, I think. But give me LSU 10 late.
I got LSU as well, just because just too small of a sample size. Maybe Kentucky just had their worst week ever.
Yeah, or
South
maybe they're
Carolina
trending
did
down as
crush.
we talked about. I think they've reached their max, and I think they're
South
gonna
Carolina did crush,
too many
but
good teams in
yeah,
this to see.
I'm going LSU minus 7. Brian Kelly needs this one. I think he can
Wow!
gear him up for this game. I think they'll be all right. I get LSU minus 7. We
Not
got
only the same picks, but the same sentiments
same
with all
everything.
three.
Yeah.
Unrehearsed. I'm shocked we feel
This
the
is
exact
big
same way.
for us.
We
This
feel
is
the
a big
exact same
week
way
for us then. This
on
is a
3
big
games.
week for us because we are both agree, same sentiments, same
Yeah, because we stink. Because
strategy going
you
into
don't want to
let's
be 5-20 in 2 weeks.
yeah. Even when even if we have no money going into it,
Yeah.
we the pride in our college football knowledge, we got to win some.
Yep.
Fourth game, number 24, Boston College, undefeated, obviously beat Florida State. At number 6, Missouri, minus 17. I guess I'll start with this one. I thought Missouri, obviously not going to be a fraud, but I feel like they brought a lot of guys back, but the momentum from last year, I think, is why everybody picked him to be in the playoff. Whether it was the second, whether it was winning the SEC or being the second or third, I feel like everyone picked him to be in the playoff. Like that's a safe pick. They started number 7 or 8 on the year. Now they're number 6. Boston
Playoff team.
College, Florida State
Playoff
game.
team.
I'm taking the points here. Boston College used to play more of a defensive and running ball, not like the Georgia Tech, just defense and running, but more of a defensive ball team the last 5-10 years or so. But their offense coming around a little bit. The quarterback had a good game against Florida State. Made some big plays on third downs down the stretch. I'm just going to take the points. Boston College 17. A lot of points.
Yeah, it's more about the points for me. I mean, Mizzou outclasses them, but again, it just I'm a sucker for that amount of points and a team that I think is, as I mentioned earlier before, I think a couple weeks ago, I think they're still a pretty quality team, even though I think it's a playoff team for Mizzou. It just doesn't feel like a 21 or more to me. So not a ton of reasons behind it, but I do. I like BC.
Okay. And then I'll just check the spread real quick on the A&M Florida change. Okay, so 3.5.
Yeah,
Going with
three
three
and
and
a
a
half,
half.
4.5,
Texas A&M
4.
at Florida 3.5. I'll be real quick on this one. I mean, I'm not saying we're college football analysts here. We are. We're not getting paid for it, but we are. Um, we still obviously don't go against our teams too many times, probably really ever. But that being said, I like Texas A&M before the year. I picked them as a possible playoff team before the year. I just thought their schedule was easy.
Good
If they
job.
beat Notre Dame, I think they had a chance there. And then now we're toast. And now I think they're frauds. Um, New coach, yeah. I got I got Florida with the 3.5. I don't know who Florida's starting. I think they're trying to do a combo quarterback.
Well, good luck if they are. No,
Maybe.
Lagway will definitely get some snaps. Mertz is going to start for sure. He should
Okay,
play the
so
bull.
Mertz is healthy, ready to
We'll
go.
see how
Okay,
that
so
goes.
anyway, I'm picking Florida plus 3.5. And go ahead, yeah. So
Yeah,
Mertz is
fair. I just think Elko will do good. I think they're going to struggle as well offensively. I think you have a game where Wegman's a little more challenged at quarterback than what Florida will bring. Because again, Mertz had a really good year. He's a really good player. If the line holds up a little bit, and then you get Lagway some good snaps, not just running snaps, but actual snaps. He's going to make plays. I mean, the kid's a 5-star for a reason. He's going to make plays, and I just think Florida makes. I think it's going to be a struggle both ways. This will not be probably talking to you at 6:30 on Saturday. I think it's going to be ugly. I think Florida at home they'll make one less mistake or one more play on defense, and I think
6:30.
they'll get the win.
Games at 2:30. Oh, 6:30 your time. Yep, fourth
Oh wow.
quarter. They're going to be down 3. Yep, Mertz is his own 20. Yep, I got you. Time zones. No.
More so, maybe they're up 3, and Wegman brings them down and throws a pick,
uh,
something like that.
yeah, that'd be
Now we're gonna
tough.
have to review the tape and look at that. That's gonna be ugly next
18
week
year
'cause
old
it's
kid.
already been
Was it
bad.
18 or 19? Might be 19. I'm not sure. But Lagway, yeah, he does look good.
Yep.
You said he was a 5-star. That's
Nah,
good.
he's a heck of a leader too. He's a stud. Plus, he gives Mertz a lot of credit. He said, "I want to be the leader like he is as I get older," which is awesome because a
Yeah,
kid doesn't have to come in and do that. And he's not blowing smoke, but he's like, I just appreciate what he's done. And
and he's
Mertz has
going to
been
be
a great.
great. Make him
Mertz has
happy.
been a great leader. He set the tone. He wasn't just at
Mertz is a
media
good
days and
coach.
everything. He's a quarterback. He's got multiple awards of like them lifting and all and saying this kid's a stud and he deserves it. However, Lagway he's the truth. He's the guy. So I'm not going to liken it to when Jones didn't lose his job to Richardson when Richardson was going to be a first round pick.
Sure.
Lagway should be a future one, you'd
Yeah,
think,
Florida's
but
had quite a
but
few of
but
those.
Mertz is a good player. So I hope he gets his due. I hope again maybe they can dial in the old ball coach and play both correctly. However, you really leave that up to Billy Napier. Good luck.
And Texas A&M's had a great offense for I don't know since Johnny Manziel. They've had unbelievable
Yeah,
receivers.
it's weird.
Obviously, Will
Yeah, they
Anderson.
got they got the
They've
guy. They
always
got
had a
the
great offense, but they might be
they got the
coming
athletes. I
down.
don't think they have the quarterback.
I
I
think they're
just don't.
coming down a little bit on their
I don't think they have
They
the
always have
quarterback.
6'5" receivers, 2 or 3 of them big tight. Yeah,
Yep.
but we'll see. And yeah, important for Florida to get the win. Obviously,
Well,
you don't want
yeah.
Lagway to go to Georgia next year after Carson Wentz.
Oh, jeez.
You got to get a couple wins
Saying
before.
that
So yeah, I hate to say it.
he ain't going anywhere.
All right. Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully some kids stick with their program and, we'll see. All right. Let's jump into the Kansas and Memphis, Florida State. Um, Oregon State. Oregon.
Civil War, love it every year. It was always the colors, home and home, green and obviously yellow, orange and black. They would
Wild
wear their
colors
home
back then.
uniforms, just like USC and UCLA did. An old Thanksgiving tradition, once again forgotten and brought into September. But at least they're doing it, even out of conference. It's awesome. Hope they keep it going. I don't know the details of that if they will, but really pumped for that game. And listen, the spread's decently big. I could be off of the number. I thought it was 16.5. I just looked at it briefly, but um, Oregon State's no slouch. I think they were last year, they were the year before. So I like them hanging in, and Oregon, you know, again, give them credit for how they performed last week. Boise's very good, but
Yeah.
I think you got a dogfight or a civil war involved here.
Yeah. And that's what it is.
Yep.
Speaking of civil wars, states across Oklahoma, Texas. Oh no, Tulane. No, I'm kidding. I'm just thinking about Oklahoma, Texas a lot.
I thought you meant the
Um,
Civil War that's upcoming.
oh,
Oh,
War
not
for
this
no,
not in
that's it.
this
No,
country. Okay.
no. Obviously Tulane at 15, Oklahoma. We're the only team that couldn't jump since we almost lost to Houston last week. Just a horrible offensive outing after the
Tough.
first quarter. Very tough. So we're the only team that didn't make the jump. Obviously, we jumped Notre Dame, we jumped Michigan, but then we got jumped twice because of that. Just a bad performance in offense. That was tough. I thought even at the end, I was like 14-12. Just score a couple touchdowns, 28-12. No, I almost lost. And Tulane's coming off the almost victory at Kansas State, or sorry, home against Kansas State. Spread is, I believe it's 13 and a half.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just hoping for a strong performance. I think we'll be okay. Tulane's quarterback had a great game last week, getting out of some situations, and almost scored the game-winning touchdown without the offensive pass interference call. I'm just hoping for a nice offensive performance here from Oklahoma to just get us in. We got to get some momentum going to these conference games. So yeah, I would love to say just confident we're going to beat them by 24, 28, but just more hopeful, which is tough. Tough
Well, I
to
mentioned this in a group chat a couple weeks ago with our Oklahoma crew, and I said big game against Tulane. And we jumped forward. I forget
yeah,
exactly
you
what
did.
Scotty
Yeah,
Mack
you
said. I
called
don't want to
this one.
quote
You
him.
said this
I don't want to quote him,
before the Kansas
but
State
that
game. Yeah.
that went over everybody's head like non-existent. And I think I don't want to put the hex on. I think you're going to see a little more of the same. Hopefully more scoring, but I think you're going to see a dogfight game, and I think you're going to see Tulane cover that. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good
if
team,
it
man.
was
It's a good
Oklahoma,
team.
if it was Oklahoma at Tulane, the spread would probably be seven,
Sure.
3 points either
Listen,
way. So
listen.
7.5. You're
Teams
not
like
gonna.
that, teams like that live to travel because those are the games and opportunities they get. Conference
Yeah,
in home games where they're favored is great for their team, for their on their campus and for their school. But this is how you earn your stripes, and I think we're going to see
yeah,
some of that. I think we'll see Brent Venables tough. I think we'll see Stutzman tough. I think we'll see a great defense, um, make their way at the end of the game. But um,
yeah,
this feels like Tulane hanging around, just like Kansas State to me.
yeah. It's not a game where I think like the only way to win is for some of the Tulane guys, their houses to get knocked out by the hurricane. Now, prayers to everyone in New Orleans. Hopefully, they're all right with that hurricane. But no, I don't think it's that kind of game. I just think, yeah, Oklahoma's got to figure it out on offense. No, there's a big hurricane in New Orleans.
Oh, no, yeah.
I think it's all right. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I mean it's they're at least they're getting you mean just you just mean they're getting out dodge for the game. That's good.
Yeah.
Fair.
Next, we got Notre Dame minus 10.5 at Purdue. Obviously, another game. We already talked about this. They got to figure out a way. And I didn't mean anything like that with the statement there. It was like,
No, no.
it's not going to come down to that. Of course, God forbid. Jeez, we never. But yeah. Anyway, Notre Dame, Purdue. Purdue has a good offense the last couple of years, but they tailed off the end of last year. And yeah, there's a big game for Marcus Freeman. I mean, we'll see. Not even that
Yeah,
interested in it. 'Cause
season wise, it's
Notre
just a
Dame's gonna lose
must-win
again.
game. Feels
Notre
like
Dame's gonna lose again. So
another
somebody.
tight one. Remember, Notre Dame has not done that, and this is going on. It feels like 20 years now. They don't go out and just run roughshod over teams and score a ton of points, especially in 10-point spread games. They don't. They don't.
Yeah,
They like to keep them closer.
yeah,
They get 3 instead of 7 a lot, which is huge in college football. They always play good defense, and you wouldn't think based on the recent years that Purdue's roster is that below. You know what I mean? They get similar. Notre Dame gets good star players and good recruiting classes, but they don't dominate games like these. That's just been what they
yeah,
do, and I would expect something similar. I'm not going to go spread or not spread, but I think Notre Dame wins, but
yeah.
I think
But
Purdue
we'll
hangs
see if
around.
they can turn around and have a big win there at a big in-state game there.
Mm-hmm.
Washington State at Washington. Washington, obviously,
Apple
it
Cup.
never really happens. Obviously, they lost. They lost Penix Jr. Obviously, lost their coach, but it never really
Jed Fish.
a team that's makes the championship game. They never start unranked, and they started unranked. So Is it more about just who you have? It's kind of crazy, but why? And they're at home, giving 4.5 to Washington State. Um, yeah, interesting. I not following too much about either teams because there's no news about them really. I'm not.
Yeah,
It's
they
too much.
definitely took a hit. They definitely took a hit in. I don't think they made a
They
whole
lost
lot of
Don
waves in
Jose.
NIL.
They lost everybody. Yeah, they lost everybody. But
Yeah, they did. If it feels like Michigan, who obviously won it all, based on what I've been looking at and with their numbers and recruiting them out, it feels like that. Now, I like their
yeah, they
coach, but I
almost
feel like
lost as much
it's
as
going to take them some
they
time
actually.
to get into that role, and maybe they peak later. But in a rivalry game now, hang tight. Granted,
Yeah,
Washington State, lost their quarterback to Miami, and they also lost some guys in transfer portal and all. But I just think this
yeah,
story is more about Washington not being the same. But we'll see throughout the year.
yeah. They might be favored if they kept Nico
Yeah,
from Miami. But
exactly.
they might be favored.
Yep.
But
Wood.
it's crazy because Michigan goes from 1 to 10 because they're like they lost everyone. Their coach,
Yeah.
quarterback, their Heisman finalist running back. Obviously, both of them, McCarthy and Blake Corum. But then Washington lost the same. Their coach, their quarterback, their Dunze, their receiver. So Michigan goes 1 to 10. Washington goes 2 to. Yeah, they're not even on our radar anymore. So they have a lot to
Two to
prove to
nothing.
coach coming in. We'll see.
Okay.
And then last one, real quick, and we'll wrap it up with our fourth down, real quick here. But last one here, Colorado at Colorado State. Colorado, I think, took care of them pretty good last year. It's at Colorado State. Was it last year? Stanford was a close one last year, or was Colorado State close? No, Colorado State beat them. No, sorry. I have to look that up from last year. But big game for Deion Sanders. I think the kids are all right playing. Sanders kids, they're fine. I know Shadur Sanders had a lot in the press conference, kind of calling out,
Yeah.
a big play missed here in the offensive line. Maybe it's just trying to inspire, his
Yeah.
teammates to be better. Maybe it's a little bit of
This
take
is
it
what it is.
easy.
I'm not going to
We'll
spend time on Colorado. Yeah.
Yeah, they're
They
kind
can
of
win some games, and we'll talk about them. That's just how I kind of feel at this point.
yeah, yep.
Nothing to do with
So
anything besides are you
we'll start
relevant
back
to
with
talk
that.
about and you win games.
So Colorado was they came back, they went to overtime, they beat them last year to go 3-0. Colorado won 43-35 last year. Now they're on the road. That was at
Then
home.
they went
And I
three and
think the
eight from
spread
there.
there was like I think the spread there was
That's
like
what it was. It was a big spread, and
28 or
they won
31
late.
points, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
Colorado State had a chance to win it. Yeah, overtime.
I
All
mean,
right. Yeah. So we'll see what happens to Colorado. Again, they were horrible. They were one of the worst teams in college football. Last year they went 4-8. This year, you know, a big playoff pick for a lot of people. I mean,
for
if
who?
they go 66, 7-5, solid season, you're way better than you were 2 years ago, and better than you were last year.
I don't know what
Um,
they're smoking out in Colorado, but
but
I
yeah,
don't know who's thinking that.
Colorado, give us something to talk about, and we'll talk about you. We've
Yeah,
already
exactly.
talked about you more than you deserve. So
Yep.
let's move on. All right, last real quick, let's talk about the Pac-2. It's still called the Pac-12. By the way, we mentioned both those games: Oregon State, Washington State. Both
Be a
undefeated,
big
both
week for the Pac-12 this week. Big
big
week.
rivalry. They both play their
Showcase week.
in-state
Yep.
counterparts or whatever. So they're both playing. They're the states. They're both playing the regulars, Washington and Oregon. So we'll see. If one of them wins, they take control of that conference, and they'll be up a game on the other one. But I saw today, so 4 teams are added starting 2026 to the Pac-12.
Yep.
They're resurgent. So
They just got
Boise
to poke.
State,
They'll poke. They'll keep poaching.
they got Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, and who's the other one they got? They got one more team as well, and then considerations for Cal and Stanford, who just left. Stanford just
Yeah.
went to North Carolina with the ACC. Like,
But
what?
as
I don't
Eric
know what they're
Short
doing
said,
here. Obviously, it's all money, so they're moving up. So they might get Cal and Stanford
that's
back, and now they
probably
might have
that's
a
probably their hope.
Pac-6 in 2 years. Yeah,
Eric Schwartz
crazy,
mentioned that,
crazy.
defensive coordinator at Crown College. So shout out to him. He mentioned that, and I'm sure
Eric,
that's their goal, and they might be able to get them because how long are they going to want to play in the ACC if they can get that, get back in that conference
any
and win that
update on
shot?
Eric Schwartz, Crown College? Any update on defensive coordinator Eric Schwartz? The first game or two, they played 2 games.
Yep, they had one game, tough loss, but
Okay.
good second half performance. by the squad,
All right.
especially defensively. Let up no points in the second half.
Good. Nice.
But I'm sure it's a goal of them. Listen, they'll piece themselves back together, but we've turned a page on what the Pac-12 is. You know what I mean? So, but anyway, good for them.
You played for Crown. You guys were good when you played for Crown. Obviously,
Best season ever. 6-3. Didn't play the last game against Minnesota Morris. Never played the last game. Foot of snow in Minnesota. Last game ever. I was only there for a year. All the seniors, fourth and fifth year seniors, never played their last game.
Yeah, that was insane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you guys were better than a little downtrodden. Obviously, good job, Eric, with the second half shutout there. And
yeah, nice. Absolutely.
And then the last thing we'll talk about real quick, game you're most excited about outside of Oklahoma or Florida.
Well, we already tapped on them for a second. I think
Arizona, Kansas State, because you already said that one.
Yeah.
So what would you want to watch if you had to pick one game to watch?
Well, we did mention that early just because we were talking about FSU. Definitely Memphis, especially noon kick. Awesome. Sadly for me, I'll be out. I'll be out for noon kicks this week. And then on top of that, again, they're not in our group of 5 picks, but Oklahoma, Tulane, good matchup, even if you're not a fan of OU like we are. And then also, I really just think Georgia's going to put a beat down on Kentucky. And you'd be like, Kentucky will bounce back. They're tough on Mark Stoops. I've been writing that on the wall that Mark Stoops deserves to be there for 5 more years if he wants to, but I don't know why he is. And I'm glad, good for him. You don't want to go to A&M and get paid all that money and have all that expectation, but I feel like they're running out of steam, and this is going to be a tough week for them. I really believe that.
Yeah. No, that's good.
So that's what I'll go with. And then again,
I'll go with, obviously, looking forward to Oklahoma. Looking forward to the Florida Texas A&M game. Looking forward to the one you mentioned. Alabama, Wisconsin. Game day, LSU, South Carolina. Even if it's a crazy game, no matter who wins, it's game day. It doesn't, all right, South Carolina can be ranked. LSU can be kind of out and go. It doesn't do that much for me right now. So I do want to watch Boston College, Missouri. Just see if they're any bit for real, or if Missouri's any bit of a fraud. Let's see if they can hang in there. So looking forward to that game, and obviously all the games. Should be another good week. We'll see what happens.
I'll give you my little surprise one, if you will, throw one in there. I was going to harp back earlier, but we can only do so many teams, so many coaches. Dave Aranda at Baylor, what that team, the makeover they did, what Rule did, what they did after, and now where they're at. And I'll tell you what, it's not the same Air Force, I get it, but 16.5-point dog Air Force, they can keep that game close, run the ball, even on the road. So Baylor's got to watch out. So that's something I like to keep an eye on, at least in the box score.
Yeah, and Baylor had a little point where they almost made a run against Utah. They got crushed, but they almost made a run, and they almost underrated.
One more game. UCF TCU. Don't mind the schedules, but you start 3-0. That's a pretty good start. So it's only a 2.5-point spread for UCF on the road. TCU
undefeated, right?
Yeah, both undefeated.
Both undefeated. Yep.
Something to keep an eye on, as we will all the games.
I think we mentioned all the other pretty much big ones. Arizona State, Texas State, 21 all right now in the third quarter. That's crazy. Texas State. Herm Edwards, he's still there.
I got the axe.
He did 2 years ago, right? So 21 all there. We got some Thursday night football. We got Dolphins Bills tonight for you NFL fans out there.
Yep.
But we're looking forward to tomorrow night, the big game. We're looking forward to Saturday, all the games. We're looking forward to our recap show.
No doubt.
It'll come out Sunday or Monday. And, everyone have a great watching. I encourage everyone to spend 15 hours Saturday if you're not working or, you have the time.
Hey.
Just to watch
15 hours Saturday, wake up and go to church Sunday. Wake up and go to church Sunday. That's a good weekend.
Yeah. All right. So I think we touched on it all.
Great show. D-Mac leading the way.
Next week's going to be unbelievable.
Awesome.
We'll start most of the conference play. And, enjoy this week. Good job, Blue, hanging out for
on Sunday or Monday, sometime that time. We'll upload the post-cap recap, and can't wait. Really, that's a blast doing those. So we'll be back.
All
Good job,
right,
P-Mac.
from
Good job,
Chicago,
Blue.
from New Jersey. Here we are. Nice job.
All right, well done.
We're out.
See you, bro.
The song won't play, but we're out. Song's playing. We're out. I'll let this guy out.
Powered by Riverside.
Post-game, speaking of post-game show.
I think I'm on my 5th different drink. It's my 5th different drink. In these episodes, I had coffee and water.
I've had, yeah.
I've had no water
Alright,
yet.
guys.
I've had no coffee yet. So I combined them. I think I had milk, a tea one week, and then so anyway, mixing that up. And he brought Blue, so quite a nice switch up.
Kind of beers, some water, some
We're
coffee.
we're opening it up a little bit. We're opening it up a little bit, which is nice.
Absolutely. All
I
right.
think we're just getting more familiar and having fun with it, which is great.
Yeah. Everybody have a great, safe weekend. Watch some football.
All right, happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday soon. Absolutely. All right. See you guys.
Always happy Saturday.